Hey everybody, it's Steve. I promised when I made the last Star Wars Frontiers video, I was actually going to show you what was in these boxes, and, well, here we are. Let's actually take a look and go into these things. So we'll start off with the Star Wars Frontier box, and I'll actually cut these ones open and give you an idea of what's inside them. This video is going to take a little bit, and I'll probably put in the description of the video the timestamps of when we're going to get to each individual box itself. So I already took the wrapping off the Star Wars Frontiers, mainly so you wouldn't hear that crinkling sound. So when you open it up, first thing you get is the rule book for the game, and this one is a little bit different. So you have challenge cards. You do get some Explorers, Scouts, Vipers, and some scorecards, and just give you an idea of how this game is played. So you have the starting game layout. It's a little bit different than the initial one. See if I get my camera to focus. There we go. And then, so this is how the new authority cards look, and I'll definitely be showing those off once we get down to them. Keeping score, give the ships, the bases. This is really for anybody who is new to the game. Double ally. That's a new one. Double ally ability works like a regular ally ability, except it requires 2 other cards to trigger. So you need to have 3 cards to get this to work. Scrapping cards, buying, attacking. Pretty standard from this point in. You have looks like Hunter, Hydra, Emperor as playouts. The boss, those are raids that are available in this, solo and co-op, and of course the challenge cards, which I'll be showing off here in a minute. So this is the automatons. This is one of the challenges. So you set it up, boss order of play, blob assault being the next one, 1 to 4 players, a co-op challenge, how everything gets set up. Yeah, look at that. Remove all blob cards from the trade deck. That's a start move for that. Dimensional Horror being another one of the co-op challenges. The Madness of the Machine. Challenge setup. This one takes all of the Trade Federation, or not Trade Federation, Machine Call cards. The deck, boss order of play, and Nemesis Beast. I believe this one was, let's see, Nemesis. I remember Nemesis from one of the campaign missions. I also have Pirates of the Dark Star, Defy the Empire. This one takes all of the Star Empire cards out of the deck, and the Cost of Freedom, which gets rid of all of the, that's actually what's on here, the Cost of Freedom. I recognize it. So this is the Cost of Freedom challenge card. This one takes all the Trade Federation cards out of the deck. So you also have all the stories for the Trade Federation, the Blobs, the Star Empire, and the Machine Cults. And of course, all the people who helped made this game possible. Alright, so I'm gonna pop this open here. These are the big challenge cards. Come on out. And these are oversized cards. So I'd probably say they feel like 3x5 cards that are rounded off. So you have the automatons, blob assault, dimensional horror. Ouch, that just looks bad. The boss destroys all your bases. The Madness of the Machine. Oops. Nemesis Beast, pretty similar to Dimensional Horror there. Pirates of the Dark Star. The boss, and the Defy the Empire. The boss draws 5 cards each turn, plus 2 cards for each player beyond the first. Ouch. Oh wait, there's one more here. Sorry. The Cost of Freedom. Each turn, the boss draws cards equal to the number of players plus 1. Alright. So at some point, I hope that the developers actually put all these into the app. So we can kind of play all those together. I'll just put those right back in here. I am a little concerned already about how these cards are going to handle this bag, because it's already rubbing toward the bottom and tops of the bag, so it's going to start to wear the cards down pretty quick. did get a question in the initial video about what the cards are. This feels like standard card stock. Oh, I do need to actually make a little bit of noise with this. So is there a quick release? More or less. Alright, I'll just flip through some of the cards that are here. So we have the Orbital Shuttle. Looks a little bit like the Ghost from Star Wars. If you have 2 more bases in play, gain 4 authority and draw up. Cost you 2. A couple of those in the deck. Outland Station. Looks a little Mos Eisley-ish from Star Wars. A couple of those in the 3 of those in the deck. Patrol Boats. Transit Nexus. That one's kind of cool. 3 attack, 4 trade, 5 authority, 6 defense, and this is the little logo, that little F. That's the Frontiers logo on the cards. That's kind of cool. All right, whoops. And then it looks like we just have a bunch of explorers in here, a bunch of scouts. Yeah, this is the starter deck that I picked up, so I picked a good choice here. Oh, cool. These, I believe, are the challenge sets, the scorecards. So goes from 0 to 9 for each of the colors. It's kind of cool. And the new authority cards. These are the big ones, it looks like. So 0, then you turn it, you have 10. You turn it again, you have 20. You turn it again, you have 30. And of course, you can pick your favorite color and play as them. So that's just the first little half of the decks. Let's get you out of here and see what secrets and treasures you have to hold for us. Almost just put that wrapping in my tea. And there's a little quick release thing. I just haven't been able to find it. Holy shit, the first thing that I see on here, this is definitely not going to be a card you want your opponent to get their hands on. Blob Alpha. That's a lot of attack, even for 6 cost. Blob Minor. Wow, this is a pretty good one. It's almost like the trade bot. 3, and you get to scrap a card on the trade row. 3 of those in the deck. You have the Burrower. It's a blob ship. This one's pretty good. 5 attack, draw a card, and acquire a card of cost 4 or less for free upon scrapping it. The Crusher. Wow. Blob have some really strong ships so far. And this is the Hive Queen, so 7 and draw a card, single ally ability puts it up with 10 attack, double ally ability. So if there's 2 of these other blob cards in, it gets 13 attack in a single turn. Or it could be bases, you never know. Alright, let's set those, flip them over. Infested Moon, it's got that draw up ability up to twice. Moonworm Hatchling, 3 or destroy target base. That's not bad. I like that ability, you know, the either or option. Oh, there's actually 2 of them in the deck, so you can do quite a bit of damage with that. The Nesting Ground. Not seeing any outposts yet. But 2 trade, ally ability, 4 attack. I can see this one coming into handy, especially when the AI ignores your bases. Pulverizer. Scrap a card in the trade row and gain attack equal to its cost. Yeah, this would be good if a command ship or any of those high-end bases come out. Just instantly, it's like Pulverizer, that thing. Spike Cluster, cheap base, get you some base attack. A little bit of trade if you start going with a blob-heavy deck. A couple of those in there. The Stinger. Up to 6 attack, and you can get that investment back if you scrap them. 3 of those in there. The Swarm Cluster. Up to 11 attack if you have 3 blob cards out on the field at the same time. 8 defense, but no outpost still. Alright, the Build-A-Bots. You may scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. Gives you an extra trade as an ally ability and gives you 2 attack when you scrap it. 3 of those in the deck. Conversion Yard. You may scrap a card in your hand. If you do, gain 4 attack. Outpost 4 defense, costs you 5. Pretty interesting. Defense Station. Machine Cult Base, up to 4 attack. It is a Cost 4 gives you 5 outpost defense. There's 2 of those in here. Destroyer bots. 5 flat attack. There's 3 of those in here. You may scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. No, just in your discard pile with that one, sorry. Scrap a card in your discard pile with that one. Costs you 3. Enforcer mech. Wow. This one's pretty good. 5 attack, scrap a card in the hand or discard pile. Ally ability, destroy target base, and draw a card. Only costs you 5 for that one. Integration port. Costs you 3, gives you 1 trade back, and has 5 outpost defense. Nanobot Swarm. Cool. 8 cost. 5 attack, draw 2 cards. You may scrap up to 2 cards in your hand or discard pile. So draw up, then scrap. So if you somehow get this one in the early game, you can start thinning out your deck real fast with it. The Neural Nexus. Scrap a card in your hand or discard pile, gain attack equal to its cost. I don't know if this one would work good for me, because that means I got to get rid of stuff that I paid a lot of good trade for. But if you're buying a lot of 1 cards just to get that extra attack, then I guess that wouldn't work. Plasma Bot, scrap a card in your hand. So this seems to be like another version of the Battle Bot, except you actually have some decent attack coming off of it. Reclamation Station, scrap a card in your discard pile. Scrapping ability, gain 3 attack for each of your cards that you scrap this turn, including this one. Not bad. Repair mech, 3, or put a base from your discard pile on the top of your deck. Wow. That's kind of cool. That one going with that's kind of cool. I like this one. Ally ability, of course, scrap a card in the hand or discard pile. Now let's head into the Star Empire stuff. There will be more Trade Federation towards the bottom of this. I do see some of that there. Captured Outpost, draw a card, then discard a card. This one I think would work good if you had a lot of the fighter bases. Just to have something as a little bit of early game defense. 2 of those there. Cargo Craft, 2 and target opponent discards. Ally ability gets a 4 attack. That's pretty good. There's 3 there. Farm Ship. That's a cool little draw in there. I don't know who did that drawing, but that's really cool work you did there. 3 trade, draw a card, then discard. Scrapping gives you 4 attack. Frontier Hawk. Costs 1, 3 attack, draw a card, then discard. Hammerhead. Okay, a little Rogue One-ish, I like it. Draw a card, target opponent discards, then draw a card, and discard a card. Realize is a little too close to the camera on that one. Costs 5 to get that one. Imperial Flagship. Look at that artwork. I think this is one of the mats that was available. 7 attack, draw 2 cards. Target player discards a card for its ally ability. The Jamming Terminal. 2 attack, target opponent discards. So if you have this one up against an AI and the AI is ignoring it, then you're going to be in good shape. Light Cruiser, target opponent's discard. Single ally ability, 2 attack. Double ally, draw up another card. So you got 1, 2, 3 of those. So if you get these 3 together, you're getting 18 attack, drawing up 3, and making the opponent discard 3. If somehow you got all 3 of those together at once. Orbital Gun Platform. Costs 4, gives you 4 defense, 3 attack each turn, and 3 trade on scrapping. A couple of those in here. Ooh, Siege Fortress. 5 attack. Ally ability gives it 9 attack. Only gives you 5 defense, does cost you 7, but if you're going heavy on Star Empire, this would be a great way to whittle down defenses. The Warp Gate Cruiser. Discard any number of cards, gain 2 attack for each, and draw a card. Then ally ability draws up again. Federation Battleship. I already saw this one. This is, I think, on the back of the box. 5 attack, 5 authority, draw a card. Ally ability, destroy target base. Scrapping ability, 10 health. Or 10 authority. Federation Cruiser. I think they want to keep the Federation health up in these ones. 5 attack, 4 authority. Ally ability gives it another 2 and 2. Frontier Runner. Wow. Okay, my fiance is probably going to watch this video, and she's going to see me saying I'm going to go for these a lot, so she's going to go for these a lot too. 2 trade, 2 authority on these, and there's 3 of them so far in the deck. The Gate Ship, I know, was artwork that I saw it, I was like, okay, this looks really cool. Acquire a ship or base for cost 6 or less for free, put it on top of your deck. Ally ability gives it 5 extra authority. Ion Station. So it has a double ally ability here, but flat ability gives you 2 trade, 1 extra trade if you have 1 more Trade Federation card on the board, 4 attack and 4 authority. Costs you 5, gives you 5 flat defense. You also have the Long Hauler, give you up to 5 trade in a single turn, and Scrap It gives it that ability that the Freighter has in the base game. Put the next, actually no, it's not, it's similar, not the same, similar. Put the next base you acquire this turn on top of your deck. There's 2 of those in there. Mobile Market, 2. Cost 4, gives you 4 outpost defense, 2 trade, gain 2 and draw a card at the end of your turn. Move Mobile Market from the scrap heap to your discard pile. Interesting. I have a feeling this one, wow, you can actually scrap it and immediately get it back. And there's 2 of those there. We also already saw the Orbital Shuttle, which is down here. I'm actually just going to put that one right there. Alright, so that takes care of the Frontiers box. We'll put that all away. And then I guess we're going to go on to the Kickstarter promo cards. So I was saying about that crinkling sound. I'll just get the scissors and use that this way. Alright. So I had a little message from Rob, the CEO of White Wizard Games. Oh, Kickstarter promo pack. Docking. Oh, the docking element is in this one. I'll talk about that when it's going. Midgate Station. Scrap this card ally abilities. Powerful backing. And patience rewarded. So I'll just have this actually in front of me while I'm going through these. Machine Cult Ship, 7, cost you 7 to get, 5 trade or 8 attack, scrap a card in the hand or discard pile. Interesting, okay. Like any ally abilities, these trigger when you have another card of their faction in play, but you choose if and when you use this ability once it has been triggered. So if you don't want to scrap the card, just don't use the ally ability. This one is pretty hard. Scrap this card from play, move a card from your opponent's discard pile to yours. So let's say somebody gets the command ship or the what's the, not the Moonworm, the Leviathan. You scrap this card from play, and it's like, nope, it's mine now. Acer 4, I'm assuming this is going to be rip on B5. 5 authority each turn. Cost 5, gives you 5 non-outpost defense. 2 trade for an ally ability, double ally, draw a card. A Blockade Runner. Discard up to 2 cards and draw that many. Scrap this card from play, draw a card. Target opponent buys a card. Or target opponent discards a card. Cargo Rocket. 3/2/1. 3 authority, 2 attack, 1 trade. Scrap this card from play. Put the next ship you acquire this turn on top of your deck. There's 3 of those in the promo cards here. The Converter. Whenever you scrap a card from your hand or discard pile, gain 2. Sorry, I see a little shadow there. 2 attack. Scrap a card from your hand. Scrap a card from your discard pile. Interesting. One of those in there. The Freight Raft. This one has the docking ability. If a ship returns to your hand with docking, it does so after you draw your hand, so you'll end your turn with an extra card in your hand. So docking. During the discard phase, if you have a Trade Federation base in play, set this card aside. At the end of your draw phase, return it to your hand. So if you go heavy with one faction, you want to get these cards that have the docking ability in it. This one gives you 2 trade and 4 authority, but note, if you have a Trade Federation base in play, it stays in your hand into the next turn, so you're going to get that back when the next turn comes around. The Demolisher for the Star Empire, I believe every faction does have a docking ship, so we'll get to those in turn. 6 attack, draw a card, scrap this card from play, draw 2 cards, target opponent discards 2. That's for the Demolisher. There's only one of those, of course. The Imperial Defender is the Star Empire ship that can dock, 1 attack and draw a card. So you play this one, maybe you play both of them, and you have a Star Empire or base in play at the end of your turn. These two come back into your hand, so yeah, you'll start your turn with 7, you'll play these, and you'll draw back up to 7 cards pretty quick. Or 6 if you just have one of them there. Next up, Midgate Station. If you discard 0, this is actually the rules that I'm reading here. If you discard 0 cards with its primary ability, you choose to gain 1 trade or 1 attack. Okay, so discard any number of cards, gain trade or attack equal to the number of cards discarded plus 1. So if you discard 0, you get 1. If you discard 4, you get 5. Target opponent discards a card and draw a card for those. Let's look at the blob stuff. The Plague Pod. 2 trade, scrap this card from play, gain 6 attack. You can only do it when there's another blob card in play, though. That's not bad. You have 3 of those. Oh, wow, we're already going on to the recycle bots. Scrap a card in your hand for the recycle bot. Costs as much as you get as much back as you paid for it. Scrap this card from play. Scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. Good early game to get rid of some of those cards that you don't really need, like your Vipers, or once you start getting more trade units, you can actually scrap it and get rid of some of your scouts too. Sentinel, this is the blob docking ship, 5 attack. If you're going up against somebody who has a blob base in play, try to knock it out so you don't get hit for another 5 at the end of the next turn. And there's 2 Sentinels. Spawning Wurm, 8 attack, destroy target base, cost you 7, and the ally ability, yep. Scrap this base and play, get another 8 attack. So this one can do up to 16 and destroy target base. Swarming Point, get up to 9 attack if you have 3 blob cards on the board at the same time. Cost you 5, gets you 5, or 5 defense, of course, not an outpost. Temple Guardian, this is the machine called docking unit. Let's get the phone to focus, there we go. 2 trade or 4 attack. If your base is still in play at the end of your turn, you get this one back in your hand. The Colossus. This one costs 9 to pick up. This is the most expensive unit in the game so far. Choose a faction as you play the Colossus. The Colossus has that faction. Draw a card for each card of that faction you have in play, including the Colossus. Great if you're going heavy on any faction and you get this one and say, okay, it's going to be this faction, and you can just draw a ton of cards. And that's pretty much can almost end your game right there if you're going up against that one. Trade Envoy, costs you 7, 3 trade, 5 authority, draw a card. Scrap this card from play as the ally ability, put the next ship or base you acquire this turn into your hand, not on top of your deck. We also have a lot of events that just came with this promo pack. Mobilization. Each player may look at the top 4 cards in their deck, put any number of those cards into their discard pile, then put the remaining cards back on top of their deck in any order. Patience Rewarded. Like any cards... Oh, here we go. Like all cards where the player makes a choice, start with a player currently taking their turn and proceed clockwise. For each player may scrap a card in the trade row, then set it aside. For the rest of the game, players may acquire the card they set aside as if it were in the trade row. So essentially, like it's a personal trade row, I'm guessing, is how this one works. Powerful Backing. The player currently taking their turn counts as having 2 extra cards of each faction in play that turn for triggering their ally and double ally abilities. Oh, wow. So the player taking their turn gets the double ally abilities for all 4, plus a coin. Everybody else gets 5. Those gets 5 authority, and there's 2 of those, actually, you can work with. Recon Mission. Each player may acquire Explorer for free and put it in their hand. There's a couple of those events. Super Flare. Each player shuffles their discard pile into their deck, then draws. It's not bad. Supply Run. I've been talking for 25 minutes, so bear with me. Each player may either acquire an Explorer for free and put it on top of their deck, or put a card from their discard pile on top of their deck. Not bad, there's 2 of those here. Tactical Maneuver. The player currently taking their turn chooses to gain either 2 trade or 4 attack. Each other player chooses to either gain 6 authority or draw a card. There's 2 of those here. And Wormhole. Each player may either put a card from their discard pile into their hand or draw a card. Now, look at the time on this one. I did not realize this video was going to go north of 25 minutes, so I'm actually going to leave the command decks for another video and Stellar Allies, but I do want to wrap up just quickly going over the promo cards. If you haven't seen them, if you're new to the channel, or if you're new to the Star Realms videos that I put out. So, let's get these guys out. And we'll go over them real quick, and then I'll wrap up this video here. First up, the Bounty Hunter. Costs you 5, 7 attack, 5 authority is an ally ability. This is a really good one. I like this one quite a bit. The Cargo Mech has quickly become a favorite of mine when I'm playing against the AI. 4 trade, scrap a card in the hand or discard pile, and destroy target base as an ally ability. Costs you 5, though. Imperial or Federal Transports. There's 2 of them in the deck. If you get them both together and can somehow get them out on the same turn, you're getting 6 trade and 10 authority back. You almost want to keep these out of the hands of the AI because they'll seemingly spam them, and they're constantly going to be keeping their authority up while whittling yours down. Imperial Smuggler, I'm still kind of on the fence about these ones. Draw a card, then discard a card. You do get the 3 attack, which is fine, but in the late game they're not that useful, but it's helpful you have that scrap ability to get that return on investment. The Night Star, which we've already seen in some of our campaign missions. If an opponent has a base in play, gain an additional 3, so you can have up to 9 attack on this one, plus draw up a card. Probe Bot. 1 trade, costs you 2 though. Scrap a card in the hand or discard pile. Ally ability lets you draw up. Got a big trash truck heading by outside the window. You may have just heard that in the background. The Stellar Ray. 3 attack or 3 trade and draw a card. Its scrap ability though gives you 6, which is pretty good for a cost 5 card there. And Warkite being the last one. 5 attack for 2 cost, and you scrap it to take out your target base. So that one's actually... So there's some pretty decent cards in the Year 2 promo packs. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. We looked at Star Realms Frontiers and all the cards therein. We looked at the Kickstarter promo pack and the Year 2 promo cards. In the next video, I'm going to take a look at these ones, and probably going to be putting this out in the next couple of days. There's going to be a lot of content coming out on the channel, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the videos that do come out on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.